The war had been going on for 2 years, and the Velner were losing badly. Their ships exploded in space while their colonies burned on distant worlds. The Krell Empire showed no mercy. They attacked every Velner world they could find, and the peaceful Velner had no way to fight back. On the Coalition Council Station, 7 different alien species gathered for an emergency meeting. The Velner representative stood before them, his blue skin pale with fear. His hand shook as he held up a data tablet. "We have lost 12 worlds in the past month alone," he said quietly. "Our people are dying. We need help." The other species looked away. Nobody wanted to fight the Krell. The Krell were strong, their ships were many, and their warriors feared nothing. Even the proud Thorian Empire, with their massive battle fleets, stayed silent. "There must be something," the Velner pleaded. "Somewhere we can find help." An old Velner scholar named Kieran stood up from the back of the chamber. He was very old, his movements slow and careful. In his arms, he carried an ancient book made of metal pages. "There might be one hope," Kieran said, "but you will all think I am crazy." The council leader gestured for him to continue. They had nothing else. In the old archives, buried deep in the forbidden sections, there are stories, Kieran explained. Stories about a species called humans. They supposedly lived 10,000 years ago. The records say they were warriors and builders, scientists and dreamers. They say humans could do impossible things. Several council members laughed. Everyone knew those stories. They were myths tales told to children. "Humans are not real," a Thorian commander said with a deep, rumbling voice. "They are a warning story. A species that destroyed themselves with their own weapons. They never existed." But Kieran shook his head. "I have studied the archives for 50 years. I found something. Hidden coordinates. A location marked as the Sol System. The place where humans supposedly came from. And you think we should waste time searching for ghosts?" Another council member asked. The Velner representative looked at Kieran with desperate eyes. "Do you really believe they existed?" "I believe we have no other choice," Kieran answered. "The coordinates are real. Someone put them there for a reason. Maybe humans are waiting. Maybe they can help us." The council argued for hours. Most thought it was foolish. A few thought it was worth trying. In the end, the Velner made their decision. They would send a small scout ship to the coordinates. If nothing was there, they would know humans were just a myth. If something was there, perhaps there was hope. Kieran volunteered to lead the expedition himself. He gathered a small crew of 5 Velner, all volunteers who had lost their families to the Krell. They boarded an old scout ship named the Wandering Star and plotted a course to the coordinates from the ancient archive. The journey took 3 weeks. They traveled through empty space, far from any known civilization. The region was marked as uninhabited on all modern star maps. As they got closer to the Sol System, their sensors picked up nothing unusual. Just a yellow star with several planets orbiting it. "See?" one crew member said. "Nothing here. Just an empty system." But Kieran told the pilot to keep going. Something felt different. The space here seemed quieter somehow, as if they were being watched. They passed the outer planets, large gas giants that looked old and cold. They moved deeper into the system, past red-colored rocks and ice. Still nothing. The crew began to lose hope, then their sensors went crazy. "What is happening?" The pilot shouted. "I am getting thousands of readings." On the view screen, they saw something impossible. Around the 3rd planet from the sun, a beautiful blue and green world, there were structures. Massive orbital stations hung in space. Ships of all sizes moved between them. On the planet's moon, they could see lights from cities and installations. "This cannot be real," Kieran whispered, but his eyes were wide with wonder. The communication system suddenly activated. A voice spoke in perfect Velner language. "Unknown vessel, you have entered Sol System space. Identify yourself immediately or be disabled." The crew looked at each other in shock. Someone was here. Someone who spoke their language. Kieran stepped forward to the communications panel with shaking hands. "This is the Velner scout ship Wandering Star. We come in peace. We are searching for humans. Are you humans?" There was a long silence. Then the voice replied, "Yes, we are humans. You found us. The question is, why were you looking?" Before Kieran could answer, the ship's sensors showed new contacts. 5 ships appeared around them, seeming to materialize from nothing. They were sleek and dark, with designs unlike anything in the known galaxy. The technology required to hide from sensors like that should not exist. "Please do not be alarmed," the voice said calmly. "We mean you no harm. But we need to understand why you are here after so long. Follow the lead ship. We will take you somewhere safe where we can talk." Kieran gave the order to follow. The Velner ship moved slowly behind one of the human vessels toward the blue planet below. As they descended through the atmosphere, they saw cities that stretched across entire continents. Ships filled the skies. Technology was everywhere. "They really exist," one crew member said in awe. "Humans are real." "Yes," Kieran replied, watching the incredible world below them. "And they have been hiding here all this time. The real question is why." The Wandering Star landed at a massive spaceport. As the airlock opened, Kieran saw figures waiting for them. They stood on 2 legs like many species, but their builds were different. Strong but not massive. They wore uniforms of dark blue with strange symbols. One human stepped forward and smiled. It was a strange expression, showing teeth, but somehow it seemed friendly. "Welcome to Earth," the human said. "My name is Captain Do-Yoon Park. I think we have a lot to discuss." Kieran walked down the ramp on trembling legs. Behind him, his crew followed nervously. They had come looking for a myth. Instead, they found something far more incredible. They found hope. But as Kieran looked at the advanced city around him and the powerful ships overhead, one thought filled his mind. If humans were this advanced, why had they hidden for 10,000 years? What were they afraid of? Or perhaps what were they waiting for? He would soon find out. The human fleet arrived at Velner Colony 7 exactly 3 days after leaving Earth. 5 dark ships emerged from faster-than-light travel in perfect formation. They were beautiful in a dangerous way. Smooth hulls that seemed to absorb light. No visible weapons. Strange energy readings that made every sensor go crazy. Captain Do-Yoon Park stood on the bridge of the Eternal Dawn, watching the chaos on his screens. Below them, the colony was under attack. 20 Krell warships bombarded the surface, while Velner evacuation ships tried desperately to escape. "How many civilians down there?" he asked. "Approximately 2 million, Lieutenant Yuna Kim replied from her tactical station. "The Krell have been attacking for 6 hours. The colony shields are at 12%. Engineering status?" Do-Hyun looked at his chief engineer. Min-Ho Choi checked his displays. "All systems ready, Captain. Weapons charged. Shields at maximum. The new gravitational systems are functioning perfectly." On another screen, Kieran's face appeared from his ship nearby. "Captain Park, you must hurry. The colony cannot hold much longer." "Understood," Do-Hyun said calmly. He opened a channel to all 5 human ships. "All vessels, this is Do-Hyun. Assume defensive formation around the colony. Prepare to engage on my order." The 5 ships moved smoothly into position. Other species watching through long-range sensors noticed something strange. The human ships moved with perfect coordination, as if they were one organism instead of 5 separate vessels. Lieutenant Kim, open a channel to the Krell commander, Dayan ordered. Channel open. Sir. Dayan's face appeared on screens across the Krell fleet. The Krell commander was a huge creature with gray skin and 4 arms. He looked at Dayan with confusion and contempt. Who are you? The Krell commander growled. Your ships are not in our database. I am Captain Dayan Park, representing humanity, Dayan said clearly. You are attacking an innocent colony. I am ordering you to cease fire immediately and withdraw. The Krell commander stared for a moment. Then he started laughing. It was a horrible sound. Behind him, other Krell warriors joined in the laughter. Humanity? The commander said between laughs. The extinct species? The myth? You are either crazy or a liar. Either way, you are about to die. We are 50 ships. You are 5. Leave now or be destroyed. This is your only warning, Dayan said, his voice hard as steel. Stop the attack. Kill them, the Krell commander ordered. Closing the channel, 10 Krell warships broke off from the colony attack and moved toward the human fleet. They were massive vessels, twice the size of the human ships. Their weapons glowed as they charged. On the Eternal Dawn Bridge, no one looked worried. Lieutenant Kim, you may engage, Do-hyun said calmly. Yes, sir. Activating defensive protocols. The Krell ships fired first. Plasma bolts and missiles streaked through space toward the human vessels. Enough firepower to vaporize a planet's surface. And something impossible happened. The weapons stopped. They just froze in space, floating harmlessly meters away from the human ships. Some invisible force held them perfectly still. A gravitational shields working as designed, Minho Choi reported. Their weapons cannot touch us. The Krell fired again, and again. Every shot stopped before reaching the human ships. On the Krell bridge, alarms started screaming. What is this? The Krell commander shouted. What technology is this? Do-hyun opened the channel again. This is humanity's technology. This is what happens when a species spends 10,000 years learning instead of conquering. Last chance, withdraw. Never. The Krell commander roared. All ships, ramming speed. Crush them. The Krell vessels accelerated directly at the human ships. If they could not shoot them, they would destroy them by impact. Deploying gravitational pulse, Lieutenant Yuna Kim said. The Eternal Dawn seemed to shimmer. Then an invisible wave erupted from it, spreading in all directions. When it hit the Krell ships, they stopped dead in space. Their engines screamed, trying to move forward, but they could not move at all. They are caught in a gravitational field, Minho explained to the watching Vellner. We are holding them in place with artificial gravity. Impossible, Kieran whispered from his ship. From the other human vessels, something new emerged. Thousands of tiny objects, each no bigger than a human hand. They flew through space like a swarm of insects. Nanite swarms deployed, another human officer reported. The tiny machines landed on the Krell ships. Within seconds, they began disabling systems. Weapons went offline. Engines shut down. Life support stayed on, but everything else stopped working. What have you done? The Krell commander screamed as his ship died around him. We have disabled your vessels, Do-hyun replied. Your crew is safe. Life support is functioning, but you cannot fight anymore. The entire engagement had lasted exactly 7 minutes. On coalition observation stations throughout the sector, alarms were going off. The species that monitored space activity could not believe what they were seeing. 5 unknown ships had completely destroyed a Krell attack force without firing a single conventional weapon. Sir, Lieutenant Yuna Kim said, the other Krell ships are withdrawing from the colony. Let them go, Do-hyun ordered. We made our point. But the Krell commander had one more trick. From his disabled ship, He launched a final attack, a nuclear missile headed straight for the colony surface. If it hit, it would kill millions. Everyone watched in horror as the missile streaked toward the planet. Then a small human fighter appeared out of nowhere. "This is Yun Wu Xin," a young voice said calmly. "I have the missile." The fighter was impossibly fast. It matched the missile's speed, flew alongside it, and deployed something. A beam of energy locked onto the missile and pulled it away from the colony, out into empty space. The fighter let it far from anything important, then destroyed it safely. "Missile eliminated," Hyun-woo reported. "Colony is safe." On the bridge, Do-hyun allowed himself a small smile. "Well done, pilot." He opened another channel, this time to the colony below. "This is Captain Do-hyun Park. The attack is over. You are safe now." The cheering from the colony could be heard across all channels. Millions of Velners celebrating their survival. But Do-hyun knew this was just the beginning. "Lieutenant Kim, I need you to do something for me," he said quietly. "Sir? I need you to send a recording of this battle to every major coalition world. I need everyone to see what happened here. That will reveal our existence to the entire galaxy," Yuna said carefully. "I know," Do-hyun replied. "But they need to know. The Krell need to know they cannot keep attacking innocent people. And the coalition needs to know that help has arrived." Within hours, the video spread across the galaxy. On 1,000 worlds, billions of beings watched the impossible battle. They saw the mythical humans. They saw technology beyond understanding. They saw 5 ships defeat 50 without destroying a single enemy vessel. The Coalition Council called an emergency meeting. Every species wanted answers. Who were these humans? How were they so powerful? Why had they hidden for so long? And what did they want? But there was another reaction too. In the Krell Empire's capital, the Emperor himself watched the video. His face showed no emotion, but his 4 fists clenched tight. "Gather the fleet," he ordered. "All of it. Every ship we have, my lord?" His advisor asked nervously. "That is over 10,000 vessels." "I know," the Emperor said coldly. "These humans think they can defeat the Krell with tricks and technology. They think they can stop us with 5 ships. We will show them they are wrong. We will show the entire galaxy that the Krell Empire bows to no one. Where should the fleet assemble?" The advisor asked. The Emperor pointed to a star map, to the location of the Velner homeworld. "There," he said. "We will destroy their homeworld while the humans watch. We will show everyone what happens when you challenge the Krell Empire." Back on the Eternal Dawn, Dr. Hana Lee approached Do-hyun with a concerned look. "Captain, I am reading massive ship movements in Krell space. It looks like they are gathering their entire military." Dawn nodded. He had expected this. "How long until they arrive at Velner Prime?" 5 days. Maybe 6. "Then we have 5 days to prepare," Do-hyun said. He turned to his communications officer. "Send a message to Earth. Tell Admiral Junho we need reinforcements. 10 more ships should be enough." 10 ships against 10,000? Minho Choi asked. Do-hyun smiled. "They still do not understand. Numbers do not matter when you have better technology. And we have the best technology in the galaxy." He looked out at the stars, thinking about what was coming. "The Krell think we are still a myth," he said quietly. "It is time to show them that myths can be real. And sometimes, myths are more dangerous than reality." Velner Prime hung in space like a blue jewel. It was the homeworld of the Velner people, where 3 billion souls lived in peace. Now it was about to become a battlefield dot around the planet. 15 human ships waited in defensive formation. The original 5 had been joined by 10 more from Earth, against 10,000 Krell warships. It seemed like nothing. On the Eternal Dawn, Captain Do-Yoon Park stood with his senior officers. Dr. Hannah Lee worked at a medical station, preparing for casualties. Lieutenant Yuna Kim coordinated with the other ships. Minho Choi made final checks on all systems. Everyone was calm, focused, ready. The Krell fleet will arrive in 10 minutes, Yuna reported. All coalition observers are watching. Every major species has ships nearby, recording everything. Good, Do-Yoon said. Let them watch. Let them see what humanity has become. On the planet's surface, Ambassador Sora Kang stood before the Velner Council. She had come down from orbit to address them directly. Your people should evacuate to the shelters, she said gently. This battle will be loud and frightening, but you will be safe. I promise you that. How can 15 ships fight 10,000? The Velner leader asked, his voice shaking. Sora smiled. Because we are not fighting to kill. We are fighting to teach. There is a difference. In space above, Team In-Yoon finished his final analysis. He had spent days studying Krell culture, Krell history, Krell psychology. He understood them now. Captain, he said to Do-Yoon, the Krell respect only strength. They have conquered 17 species because those species show weakness. If we show mercy, they will think we are weak. Then, we will show them something they have never seen before, Do-Yoon replied. We will show them that mercy can be strength. The Krell fleet arrived like a storm. 10,000 ships emerged from faster-than-light travel. They filled the space around Velner Prime, so many that they blocked out the stars. Each ship bristled with weapons. Each crew was ready to kill. On the Krell Emperor's flagship, he sat on his throne and looked at the human ships with contempt. 15 ships, he growled. They insult us with 15 ships. Perhaps they are here to surrender, one of his generals suggested. Then we will accept their surrender and destroy them anyway, the Emperor said. Open a channel. Do-Hyun's face appeared on the Emperor's screen. The human looked tired but determined. I am Captain Do-Yoon Park. I am authorized to speak for humanity and the Velner Confederation. Emperor, you do not have to do this. Stop now. Let us talk. Let us find peace. The Emperor laughed. Peace? You want peace? Then leave this world and never return. The Velner are weak. They will be conquered or destroyed. And you, human, you will watch and learn what happens when you challenge the Krell Empire. I cannot let you harm these people, Do-Yoon said quietly. You cannot stop me, the Emperor replied. You have 15 ships. I have 10,000. Your tricks worked on 50 ships. They will not work on this fleet. This ends now. Krell warriors, destroy the human ships first. Then we burn the planet. The channel closed. The Krell fleet moved forward. Here they come, Lieutenant Yuna Kim said. All ships ready? Confirmed, came the responses from the other 14 human vessels. Then let's show them what humanity can do, Do-Hyun said. Deploy all systems. The 15 human ships spread out in a pattern that made no sense to the Krell. They were too far apart to support each other. Too few to cover the whole planet. It looked like a terrible tactical position. The Krell attacked with overwhelming force. 5,000 ships fired at once. The amount of energy released was enough to vaporize a moon, but the weapons stopped. Just like before, gravitational shields around each human ship caught every blast, every missile, every particle beam. Nothing touched them. Phase 1 complete, Yuna reported. Deploying relativistic projectiles. From each human ship, small objects launched into space. They accelerated to nearly the speed of light in seconds. Then they curved through the Krell fleet in complex patterns. When they hit Krell ships, they did not explode. Instead, they passed through the hulls and destroyed only the weapon systems. Every ship they touched became harmless instantly. 800 Krell ships disarmed, Minho Choi said. 900. 1,000. The Krell Emperor watched in fury as his weapons stopped working. What is this? How are they doing this? On the Eternal Dawn, a new officer took control. Commander Jizu Park, a specialist in boarding operations. She was Do-hyun's cousin, and she was one of the most dangerous humans alive. Deploying boarding teams, Jisu said calmly. From the human ships, small pods launched. They moved too fast for Krell targeting systems to track. They attached to Krell vessels and cut through the holes like paper. Human soldiers poured inside. But they were not killing anyone. They were capturing crew, disabling systems, taking control of ships without firing a shot. We are inside 90 Krell vessels, Jisu reported. No casualties on either side. Crews are being secured in their own cargo holds. The Krell Emperor could not believe what he was seeing. His mighty fleet was being taken apart piece by piece. His warriors could not fight an enemy they could not touch. All ships ramming speed. He screamed, "If we cannot shoot them, we will crush them." The Krell fleet surged forward. 10,000 ships trying to physically destroy 15. Narration, the AI warfare specialist, activated her systems. She was on the newest human ship, the Quantum Dawn. Her specialty was electronic warfare. Deploying virus systems, Nari said. Invisible signals spread through the Krell fleet. They invaded ship computers, navigation systems, engine controls. Within minutes, 2,000 Krell ships lost the ability to steer. They drifted helplessly in space. 3,000 Krell ships disabled, Yuna reported. 4,000. 5,000. The Emperor was going mad with rage. This is impossible. There are 15 ships. 15. But the humans kept working. Hyun Woo-shin, in his fighter craft, led a squadron of small human ships through the Krell fleet. They were so fast, so agile, the Krell weapons could not track them. They disabled ship after ship with surgical precision. This is amazing, Hyun-woo said over the comm. They are so slow compared to us. Focus, pilot, Do-hyun said. But he was smiling. Dr. Hannah Lee watched from the medical bay. Captain, we have an opportunity here. The Krell have wounded on their ships from the fighting. Request permission to help them. Granted, Do-hyun said immediately. Show them that we care about all life. Medical shuttles launched from the human fleet. They approached disabled Krell ships and offered medical aid. Many Krell refused at first, confused and angry. But some accepted, too injured to refuse help. When Krell warriors saw human doctors treating their wounded, they did not know what to think. Enemies did not do this. Conquerors did not do this. The battle continued for 6 hours. Not because the humans could not win faster, but because they were being careful. Every action was designed to disable, not destroy. Every move was calculated to save lives, not take them. Finally, 8,000 Krell ships were disabled. The remaining 2,000, including the Emperor's flagship, were surrounded. Do-hyun opened a channel to the Emperor. "It is over," he said simply. "You have lost. But your crews are alive. Your warriors are captured, but unharmed. We could have destroyed you in minutes. Instead, we spent hours making sure everyone survived. Do you understand why?" The Emperor's face was twisted with rage and shame. "Why? Why do this? Why not just kill us?" "Because killing is easy," Do-hyun answered. "Any species can kill. But being strong enough to choose mercy? That takes real power. That takes real courage. The Krell bow to no one." The Emperor roared. "Then you will kneel," a new voice said. Admiral Junho Nam's face appeared. He spoke with absolute authority. "Emperor, by the power vested in me by Earth and the Galactic Coalition, I am placing you and your entire fleet under arrest. You will face trial for war crimes. The Krell Empire is dissolved as of this moment." "You cannot do this," the Emperor shouted. We just did, Junho replied calmly. Your people will be given a choice. They can learn to live in peace with the galaxy, or they can be confined to their worlds until they learn. That choice is theirs. On the Coalition observer ships, representatives of every species watched in stunned silence. One species, the proud Thorians, finally spoke. This is unprecedented, the Thorian admiral said. Humanity has just defeated the most powerful military empire in the galaxy without destroying a single ship. On Velner Prime, Sora Kang addressed the Velner people. You are safe now. The Krell will not threaten you again. Humanity has kept its promise. Back on the Eternal Dawn, the crew finally relaxed. Minho Choi slumped in his chair with relief. I cannot believe we actually did it. Never doubt human ingenuity, Doyen said with a tired smile. He looked at his crew. You all performed perfectly. You showed the galaxy what we can do. More importantly, you showed them who we are. Lieutenant Yuna Kim pulled up the sensor data. Captain, we are being hailed by the Coalition Council, and by Earth, and by about 40 different species who all want to talk to us. Dahan laughed. It was a sound of exhaustion and triumph. I suppose we cannot hide anymore. No, Dr. Hana Lee said softly. But maybe that is a good thing. Maybe the galaxy needed to see us. Maybe they needed to know that someone cares about peace. Through the view screen, they watched as human ships began the long process of securing the Krell fleet. Not destroying, not killing, just see. Captain Do-Hyun Park led the Velner delegation through the halls of the Earth Defense Command Center. Kieran and his crew could not stop staring. Everything was clean and new. Lights glowed softly from the walls themselves. People moved quickly, but calmly, working at stations that displayed information in 3 dimensions. This way, please, Do-Hyun said politely. He was tall for a human, with short black hair and calm dark eyes. He walked with the confidence of someone who had faced danger many times. They entered a large meeting room. Already waiting inside were several other humans. A woman with kind eyes stood and bowed slightly. I am Dr. Hana Lee. I specialize in meeting new species. We are very glad you found us. A younger woman in a military uniform nodded to them. Lieutenant Yuna Kim. I handle tactical operations. Her eyes were sharp and intelligent, constantly watching and analyzing. An older man with gray hair sat at the head of the table. I am Admiral Junho Nam. I command Earth's defense forces. Please, sit. We have many questions for each other. Kieran sat down carefully. His crew stood behind him, still nervous. We did not think you were real, he admitted. The galaxy believes humans are extinct, that you destroyed yourselves thousands of years ago. Do-Hyun smiled sadly. We almost did. About 12,000 years ago, humanity nearly ended itself in a terrible war. Nuclear weapons, biological weapons, things we created to kill each other. We came very close to extinction. But you survived, Kieran said. Barely, Dr. Hana Lee explained. After the war, less than 1 billion humans remained. Our planet was damaged, but we learned something important. We learned that we were our own worst enemy. We decided to change. Admiral Junho spoke in a deep, serious voice. We chose to hide from the galaxy, not because we were afraid, but because we needed time. Time to heal. Time to grow up. Time to become better than we were. You have been watching us, Kieran said. It was not a question. Yes, Do-Hyun confirmed. For 10,000 years, we have observed the galaxy. We know about the Coalition. We know about the 7 species. We know about the Krell Empire. Lieutenant Yuna Kim activated a holographic display. It showed the entire galaxy with different colored zones. We have monitoring stations in 200 systems. We see everything that happens. We just choose not to interfere. Until now, Kieran said hopefully. We came here because we need help. The Krell are destroying my people. We are not warriors. We cannot fight them. The room became quiet. The humans looked at each other. Something passed between them, unspoken communication. Show us, Admiral Junho said finally. Kieran pulled out his data device. He projected videos onto the holographic display. The humans watched in silence as Krell ships bombarded Velner colonies. They saw cities burning. They saw Velner families running for their lives. They saw children crying in the ruins. Dr. Hannah Lee put her hand over her mouth. Her eyes were wet. Even Lieutenant Yuna Kim, who looked so tough, seemed disturbed. How many have you lost? Do-hyun asked quietly. 12 worlds, Kieran answered. Millions of people. And the Krell are not stopping. They want to conquer everything. Admiral Junho stood and walked to the window. Outside, the blue earth turned slowly in space. This is what we feared. This is why we watched. We wanted to see if the galaxy would learn to live in peace. But it seems some species have not. Will you help us? Kieran pleaded. I know we have no right to ask. We are strangers to you. But you are our only hope. There is a problem, Lieutenant Yuna Kim said. She pulled up new data. The Galactic Coalition does not know humans exist. If we appear suddenly, it could cause panic, fear. Some species might see us as invaders. But if you do nothing, my people will die, Kieran said desperately. A new voice spoke from the doorway. Then we must be very careful about how we help. Everyone turned. A woman in elegant diplomatic robes entered. She had an air of authority and wisdom. I am Ambassador Sorakang. I speak for Earth's government in matters of foreign contact. She sat down and looked at Kieran with serious eyes. Your arrival has forced us to make a choice we have avoided for 10,000 years. Do we remain hidden and safe? Or do we step into the galaxy and accept what comes? The government is meeting now, Do-hyun explained. The decision will not be easy. Many people want to stay isolated. They fear what happened before will happen again. But others believe we have a responsibility, Dr. Hannah Lee added. We have the power to help. Does that mean we must help? A young man in a civilian uniform approached with a tablet. Admiral, I have the analysis you requested. He handed the device to Junho. This is Taemin Yoon, the Admiral said. He studies other species and cultures. Taemin, tell them what you found. Taemin bowed to the Velner. I have analyzed the Krell expansion patterns. If they continue at their current rate, they will reach the Sol system in approximately 50 years. Maybe less if they keep conquering new territory. The room became very quiet. So we will have to fight them eventually anyway, Lieutenant Yuna Kim said. Perhaps, Ambassador Sora Kang replied. Or perhaps we can stop them now, before they become too powerful. Admiral Junho turned from the window. I have made my recommendation to the Earth Council. I believe we should help the Velner. Not with our full military, not yet. But with a small force, enough to make a difference. How small? Kieran asked. 5 ships? Do-hyun said. My ship, the Eternal Dawn, and 4 others. We will go to your front lines. We will see the situation ourselves. Then we will decide what to do. Only 5 ships? Kieran felt his hope fading. The Krell have thousands. Lieutenant Yuna Kim smiled. It was not a kind smile. You have not seen what human ships can do. Dr. Hannah Lee reached across the table and touched Kieran's hand gently. Trust us. We have been preparing for this for a very long time. Our ships are not like anything in your galaxy. I need to ask, Kieran said carefully. Why are you so advanced? How did you develop such technology? When you almost destroy yourself, you learn things, Do-hyun answered. You learn to use every resource. You learn to think differently. You learn that survival requires innovation. We had 10,000 years of nothing to do but improve ourselves. And we studied every species in the galaxy, Team Yoon added. We learned from your successes and your mistakes. We took the best ideas from everyone and made them better. The door opened again. A military officer entered and saluted. Admiral, the Earth Council has made their decision. Everyone waited. Even the humans seemed nervous. The Council approves the mission, the officer said. 5 ships are authorized to assist the Velner Confederation. Rules of engagement are defensive only until further notice. Captain Park will command the expeditionary force. Kieran felt tears running down his face. Thank you. Thank you so much. Ambassador Sora Kang stood. Do not thank us yet. We are going to a war, but we do things our way. We will try to stop the fighting. We will try to talk. Only if talking fails will we fight. And if you do fight? Kieran asked. Captain Doyeon Park looked at him with eyes that had seen things Kieran could not imagine. Then the Krell will learn why humanity spent 10,000 years preparing. They will learn why we are not a myth. They will learn what happens when you threaten innocent people in front of humans who remember what it is like to lose everything. When do we leave? Kieran asked. Tomorrow, Doyeon said. Tonight, rest. Eat. Let Dr. Hannah Lee examine you to make sure our worlds are compatible. Then we travel to your front lines together. As the Velner crew was led away to quarters, Kieran looked back at the humans. They were already planning, already working. These people who were supposed to be extinct. These people who were supposed to be a warning tale. Instead, they were his people's salvation. He just hoped they were as powerful as they claimed. Because if they were not, the Krell would destroy them too, and hope would die with them. 6 months had passed since the battle at Velner Prime. The galaxy was still adjusting to the new reality. Humanity was real. Humanity was powerful. And humanity was not going away. On the Coalition Council station, a new seat had been added to the chamber. Captain Doyeon Park sat in it, representing Earth and all its people. He wore a simple blue uniform with the symbol of Earth on his chest. Around him sat the leaders of 7 other species, all watching him with a mix of respect and caution. The question before us today, the council leader said, is what to do with the former Krell territories. 17 species were enslaved by the Krell Empire. Now they are free, but they need help rebuilding. Dahan stood to speak. Even after 6 months, some council members still seemed nervous when he talked. Humanity's display of power had frightened many. Earth proposes a simple solution, Doyeon said calmly. We help them. We provide technology for clean energy, for growing food, for healing the sick. We ask nothing in return except that they govern themselves freely. Why would you do this? A Thorian representative asked. What do you gain? A better galaxy, Doyeon answered. Is that not enough? The council voted. The measure passed easily. Humanity would lead the reconstruction effort. In the medical facilities on Velner Prime. Dr. Hannah Lee worked alongside doctors from 6 different species. She had discovered something remarkable. By studying all the different species in the galaxy, she found a cure for a plague that had killed millions of Tyvan people for generations. How did you do this? A Tyvan doctor asked her, amazed. By working together, Hannah replied with a smile. Your species understood the symptoms. The Velner understood the biology. The Thorians had the right technology. I just put it all together. She handed the cure formula to the Tyvan doctor. Take it. It belongs to everyone now. No patents. No profits. Just healing. The Tyvan doctor had tears in his eyes. You are giving this away? For free? Health is not something to be sold, Hannah said firmly. It is a right. Humanity learned that lesson the hard way, long ago. On a former Krell military world, Commander Jisoo Park oversaw the training of a new peacekeeping force. It included soldiers from 12 different species, all learning to work together. The goal is not to fight, she told the recruits. The goal is to prevent fighting. You are not here to conquer. You are here to protect. A young Krell soldier raised his hand. 6 months ago, he had been fighting against humanity. Now he was learning from them. Commander, my people were warriors for thousands of years. How do we change that? Jisoo looked at him with understanding. By choosing to be protectors instead of conquerors. By using your strength to help, not harm. The Krell are strong. That has not changed. What changes is how you use that strength. The soldier nodded slowly. Around him, others from different species listened. They were beginning to understand. In orbit above Earth, Narration worked on her greatest project yet. She was building a galactic communication network that would connect every world in the coalition. It would allow instant communication across the entire galaxy. This will change everything, her assistant said, watching the work. Yes, Nari agreed. No more isolation. No more misunderstandings, because messages take weeks to arrive. When everyone can talk to everyone else, peace becomes easier. And if someone tries to use it for war, Nari smiled. Then the AI monitoring systems I built will shut them down. This network serves peace. Nothing else. On the Coalition Council station, Lieutenant Yuna Kim had been promoted to Admiral. She now commanded joint fleets that included ships from many species working together. She stood on the bridge of her new flagship, looking at the diverse crew around her. Admiral, her Velner communications officer said, "We are receiving a distress call from the Outer Rim. A colony is being threatened by pirates. All ships, set course," Yuna ordered. "And send a message. Tell them help is coming. Tell them the galaxy does not abandon its own anymore." The fleet jumped faster than light speed. 3 human ships, 5 Thorian ships, 2 Velner ships, 4 from other species, all working together. On Earth, Team Immune published his greatest work. It was a complete history of humanity, from ancient times to the present. He did not hide the dark parts. He wrote about the wars, the hatred, the near extinction. But he also wrote about the recovery, the growth, the choice to be better. The book became required reading in schools across the galaxy. Young people from every species learned about humanity's journey. They learned that any species could make mistakes, and any species could learn from those mistakes. "Why did you include all the bad things?" A young Velner student asked him during a visit to their world. "Why not just show humanity's greatness?" "Because the bad things are important," Tiemann explained. "They show that we are not perfect. They show that we struggled. And that makes our achievements more meaningful. We did not start great. We became great by choosing to change." Ambassador Sora Kang traveled from world to world, helping to write what became known as the Terran Accords. These were laws that protected the rights of all sentient beings. Freedom, justice, the right to live without fear. These laws apply to everyone, she told each world she visited, including humans. "We are not above the law. We helped write it, but we must follow it like everyone else." Some species worried that humanity wanted to rule the galaxy. But Sora's work showed them the truth. Humanity wanted partnership, not domination. Minho Choi became famous for his engineering schools. He taught students from every species how to build better ships, better power plants, better technology. But he always emphasized one thing. Technology is a tool, he told his classes. It can be used to build or destroy. The choice is yours. Choose wisely. His students went on to improve life across the galaxy. Clean energy replaced polluting systems. Efficient food production ended hunger on dozens of worlds. Medical technology saved countless lives. Hyam Wu Shin, the young pilot, became a symbol of hope. He traveled to different worlds, performing at air shows and teaching young pilots. He showed them that skill and bravery mattered more than species or origin. Anyone can be great, he told children who watched him fly. You just have to work hard and never give up. I am not special. I am just a human who practiced a lot. But everyone knew he was being modest. His flying skills had saved thousands of lives during the war. On the former Krell homeworld, the Emperor stood trial. The courtroom was filled with representatives from the 17 species his empire had enslaved. They told their stories. The pain, the suffering, the loss. When it was his turn to speak, the Emperor looked different than before. Smaller somehow, defeated. I was taught that strength was everything, he said quietly. That conquest was glory. I was wrong. I see that now. But I cannot undo what I have done. No, the judge agreed. You cannot. But you can spend the rest of your life making amends. You can teach your people a better way. The Emperor was sentenced to work in the reconstruction efforts. He would spend his remaining years helping rebuild the worlds he had destroyed. It was a sentence that focused on restoration, not revenge. Many people thought he should be executed. But Dr. Hanali spoke at the trial. Killing him would be easy, she said. But it would teach us nothing. Let him live. Let him see the good that comes when we choose mercy. Let him learn. That is true justice. 1 year after humanity's return to the galaxy, the Coalition Council held a special ceremony. They were welcoming the 17th liberated species as full members. These former slaves were now free people with their own voice in galactic affairs. Captain Do-Hyun Park stood to address the gathering. 1 year ago, the Velner found us. They reminded us that hiding was no longer an option, that we had a responsibility to use our strength for good. Today, we see the results. 17 species free. Peace spreading across the galaxy. Different peoples learning to work together. He paused, looking around the chamber at all the different faces. But this is just the beginning. There are still conflicts. Still problems. Still challenges. The difference is, now we face them together. No species stands alone. No world is abandoned. We are stronger together than we could ever be apart. What will humanity do next? A council member asked. Do-Hyun smiled. What we have always done. We will explore. We will learn. We will help where we can. And we will continue to prove that the greatest power in the universe is not the power to destroy. It is the power to build, to heal, to lift others up. And if someone threatens this peace? Another asked. Then we will defend it, Do-Hyun said firmly. Not with pleasure, not with hate, but with the same determination we showed at Velner Prime. We will protect the innocent. We will stop those who would harm others. But we will always choose mercy when we can. That evening, Do-Hyun returned to the Eternal Dawn. His senior officers gathered in the briefing room. They were family now, bound by everything they had been through together. What do you think, Captain? Lieutenant Yuna Kim asked. Did we do the right thing? Revealing ourselves? Do-Hyun looked out the window at the stars, at the ships from different species moving peacefully through space, at the future they were building together. Yes, he said quietly. We did. For 10,000 years, we hid because we were afraid of ourselves, afraid of what we might become. But we learned. We grew. We changed. And now? Dr. Hannah Lee asked.